Have you ever felt like your home, your garage, your attic, or even your mind is just bursting at the seams with things you no longer need, things you've forgotten about, or even things that just weigh you down? It's a common feeling, isn't it? As we gather more years and more life experiences, we also tend to gather more stuff. And while some of it holds precious memories, a lot of it becomes a silent burden, taking up physical space. Yes, but also taking up mental and emotional energy. It can feel overwhelming, like a massive tide of possessions threatening to engulf us, leaving us with less room to breathe, less freedom to move, and even a lingering worry about what will happen to it all when we're no longer here. That feeling of being weighed down, of being tethered to the past by mountains of forgotten items or unresolved issues, is a painful reality for many of us. But what if I told you there's a powerful secret to living lighter, feeling truly free, and stepping into your next decade with a profound sense of ease and liberation? It's not about grand gestures or drastic changes, but about thoughtfully and intentionally letting go. In this video, we're going to explore 6 specific areas that, if you gently and mindfully declutter them before you hit 70, will truly transform your life. Creating space for joy, peace, and new adventures. This isn't just about tidying up a cupboard, it's about freeing your spirit. So, watch to the end for something that will surprise you, something that might just change the way you look at aging. Let's start our journey of liberation with the most obvious, yet often the most daunting area: our physical clutter. Think about all those things that have accumulated over the years in your spare rooms, the attic, the garage, or even just overflowing drawers and closets. It's not just objects. Each piece often carries a story, a memory, or even a sense of obligation. We hold on to things just in case, or because they were gifts, or because they remind us of a particular time or person. But these items, no matter how small, demand our attention. They need to be stored, cleaned, and sometimes even worried about. The sheer volume can feel suffocating. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the thought of tackling an entire room or even a single cupboard. The trick here is to start small, incredibly small. If you need to, maybe it's just one drawer today, or one shelf. The goal isn't to conquer Mount Everest in one go, but to take consistent, gentle steps. A helpful approach many people find effective is the "does it spark joy" method, popularized by Marie Kondo. Hold an item in your hands and truly ask yourself if it brings you a feeling of happiness or usefulness right now. If it doesn't, and you don't genuinely need it, then it's time to thank it for its service and let it go. This could mean donating it to a charity, offering it to a family member who might truly use or cherish it, or selling it if it has value. Imagine the freedom of opening a closet and seeing only the clothes you love and wear, or walking into a spare room that feels airy and open, rather than being a storage unit for forgotten dreams. This decluttering isn't just about creating physical space, it's about creating mental space. Less visual chaos means less mental noise. It also makes your home safer and easier to navigate, which becomes increasingly important as we age. Think of the relief of not having to dust around dozens of knickknacks or search through piles of papers to find what you need. It's about creating an environment that supports your present and future, rather than holding on to a past that no longer serves you. It's about recognizing that memories live in our hearts, not in every single object we possess. Giving away something that someone else can use and appreciate is also an act of generosity that feels wonderful. Moving on from our physical spaces, let's turn our attention to something equally pervasive, yet often invisible: digital clutter. In today's world, our lives are increasingly intertwined with technology, and just like our physical homes, our digital spaces can become incredibly cluttered without us even realizing it. Think about your email inbox, your photo library on your phone or computer, or the myriad of apps you've downloaded over the years. How many unread emails are lurking in your inbox, creating a constant hum of low-level anxiety. How many blurry, duplicate, or utterly forgotten photos are taking up precious storage space on your devices? And what about those apps you downloaded for a fleeting moment of interest and haven't touched in years, but are still sitting there, perhaps even silently collecting data? This digital accumulation isn't benign. It slows down our devices, makes it harder to find what we actually need, and contributes to a feeling of being constantly overwhelmed. Just as with physical clutter, tackling digital clutter can feel like a monumental task. But again, the secret is gentle consistency. Start with your email. Begin by unsubscribing from newsletters and promotional emails you never read. It's surprising how many of these automatically fill our inboxes each day. Then, dedicate a short period, say 15 minutes, each week to deleting old, unnecessary emails. You don't have to get to inbox zero overnight, but imagine the relief of having a manageable number of messages. For photos, consider dedicating an hour or two to going through your albums. Delete duplicates, blurry shots, and anything that doesn't evoke a positive memory. Organize your favorites into albums that are easy to find and enjoy. Many online services offer simple tools to help identify and remove similar photos. And those unused apps. Go through your phone or tablet and simply delete anything you haven't used in the last month or two. Most apps are easy to re-download if you genuinely need them again. This might sound minor, but a decluttered digital life means a faster phone, a less cluttered mind, and even improved online security, as you're less likely to fall victim to phishing scams if your inbox is clean, and you're not keeping sensitive information in forgotten files. It's about creating an efficient, enjoyable digital environment that supports your life, rather than overwhelming it. When your digital world is streamlined, you can connect more easily with loved ones, access information quickly, and truly enjoy the benefits technology offers without the underlying stress. It's another layer of lightness you can add to your life. Next on our list of things to declutter are unfinished projects and forgotten hobbies. We all have them, don't we? That half-knitted scarf gathering dust in the basket, the woodworking project that stalled years ago, the partially painted canvas, or the stack of books we started but never finished. These aren't just physical items. They represent aspirations, creative impulses, and sometimes well-intentioned plans that never quite came to fruition. While it's wonderful to have hobbies and interests, an accumulation of unfinished projects can become a source of quiet guilt or a subtle drain on our mental energy. Each time we see them, they might whisper, "You still haven't finished me," or "Remember when you were going to do this?" It's a weight, even if we don't consciously acknowledge it. The act of decluttering these isn't about giving up on creativity. It's about making a conscious decision. For each unfinished project or dormant hobby, ask yourself, do I genuinely still want to complete this? Does it still bring me joy or a sense of purpose? If the answer is a resounding yes, then schedule dedicated time to work on it, even if it's just 15 minutes a week. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps. If the answer is no, if the thought of picking it up again fills you with dread or indifference, then it's perfectly okay to let it go. This could mean dismantling the project and saving useful components, donating the materials to someone who will use them, or simply recycling them. Releasing these projects frees up not only physical space, but also significant mental bandwidth. It clears out that little corner of your mind that holds onto the shoulds and coulds that haven't happened. It allows you to focus your energy on hobbies and activities that truly engage and excite you. Now, rather than being perpetually tied to past ambitions that no longer align with your current interests or capacity, think about the joy of finishing one project and giving it your full attention, versus having 5 half-finished ones that constantly nag at you. This decluttering is about honoring your present self, and the activities that truly bring you peace and fulfillment today. Continuing our journey of creating more space, both physically and mentally, let's talk about outdated financial documents and paperwork. This is an area that many of us dread, but it's crucial for both practical reasons and peace of mind. Over the decades, we accumulate stacks of bank statements, utility bills, insurance policies, tax returns, receipts, and various other official documents. Much of this paper is no longer necessary and can even pose a security risk if it falls into the wrong hands. Keeping unnecessary documents not only creates physical clutter in our homes, but can also make it incredibly difficult to find the truly important papers when you need them, like your will, power of attorney, or critical medical records. The key here is knowing what to keep and for how long. For example, most tax records should be kept for 7 years, but utility bills or credit card statements often only need to be kept for a year, or even less if you access them digitally. Instead of hoarding every piece of paper, consider a systematic approach. Invest in a good shredder and make it a regular habit to go through papers as they come in. For essential documents, create a clear, organized system, perhaps a fireproof box or a secure digital folder for scanned copies. The goal is to move towards a paperless system wherever possible, opting for e-statements and online bill paying. This not only reduces clutter, but also often makes managing your finances more efficient. Imagine the relief of knowing exactly where every vital document is, without having to rummage through dusty boxes or overflowing filing cabinets. This decluttering step isn't just about tidiness. It's about protecting your financial well-being and ensuring that your affairs are in order. Giving you immense peace of mind, it's also a thoughtful act for your loved ones, as it simplifies things immensely if they ever need to access your information. Now, let's move beyond the tangible and delve into something profoundly impactful: toxic relationships and emotional baggage. This is perhaps the most challenging, yet ultimately, the most freeing thing you can declutter before turning 70. Over a lifetime, we form countless connections, and inevitably, some of these relationships, whether with family members, old friends, or even acquaintances, can become draining, negative, or simply unhealthy. These are the relationships that leave you feeling exhausted after interacting, that are filled with criticism, constant drama, or a perpetual sense of obligation without genuine connection or support. Holding on to old grudges, resentments, or unaddressed hurts from the past also falls into this category of emotional baggage. This emotional clutter can be far heavier than any physical object. It impacts our mental health, our energy levels, and our overall capacity for joy and new, positive connections. Decluttering these areas requires courage and self-compassion. It doesn't necessarily mean cutting people out of your life entirely, though for some, that might be the healthiest choice. Often, it involves setting clear, firm boundaries. This could mean limiting the frequency of interactions, choosing not to engage in certain negative conversations, or simply deciding to reduce the emotional investment you place in certain dynamics. It's about recognizing that you have a right to protect your peace and energy. Forgiveness, both of others and of yourself, is another powerful tool in releasing emotional baggage. Forgiveness isn't about condoning past wrongs. It's about releasing yourself from the burden of carrying resentment. It's about choosing peace over holding on to pain. This process can be challenging, and sometimes, seeking support from a trusted friend, a counselor, or a support group can be incredibly beneficial. Imagine the lightness you would feel if you weren't constantly bracing yourself for negative interactions or replaying old hurts in your mind. Freeing yourself from toxic relationships and emotional burdens creates immense space for genuine, supportive, and uplifting connections, and allows you to invest your precious energy into relationships that truly nourish your spirit. This decluttering is about reclaiming your emotional sovereignty and ensuring that the final chapters of your life are filled with peace, authentic connection, and joy. Rather than the heavy weight of the past, it's about choosing serenity. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most deeply rooted and impactful thing to declutter: limiting beliefs and self-doubt. As we journey through life, we absorb countless messages about who we are, what we're capable of, and what's possible for us. Some of these messages become deeply ingrained, forming limiting beliefs. Ideas like, "I'm too old to learn something new," "I'm not good enough," "I've always been this way, so I can't change," or "It's too late for me to pursue that dream." These beliefs, often unconscious, act like invisible shackles, preventing us from trying new things, stepping out of our comfort zones, or fully embracing the incredible potential that still lies within us, regardless of our age. Coupled with this is self-doubt, that nagging voice that whispers, "What if you fail?" or "You can't do it." This mental clutter, these internalized limitations, can be far more restrictive than any physical possession. They dim our light and prevent us from experiencing the fullness of life. Decluttering limiting beliefs and self-doubt involves a process of self-awareness and gentle challenge. Start by noticing your inner dialogue. When you think about trying something new, or when you face a challenge, what thoughts come up? Are they encouraging or discouraging? When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't," or "I'm too old," pause and gently question that thought. Is it truly a fact, or is it just a belief you've adopted? Look for evidence in your past where you did overcome challenges, where you did learn something new, or where you did surprise yourself. Actively seek out new experiences, no matter how small, that challenge these old narratives. Try a new hobby, learn a new skill online, visit a new place, or simply engage in a conversation with someone who has a different perspective. Each small step you take outside of your perceived limitations helps to erode those old beliefs and build new, empowering ones. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether that's people, books, or inspiring content. This process of decluttering your mind is a continuous journey, but the rewards are immeasurable. Imagine approaching your 70s and beyond with a profound sense of possibility, with the belief that you are capable of continued growth, joy, and contribution. Releasing these mental constraints frees up your spirit to explore new passions, deepen existing relationships, and truly live without reservation. It allows you to embrace the wisdom you've gained and use it as a foundation for a future filled with curiosity, courage, and genuine self-acceptance. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to be truly yourself, unburdened by what you or others once thought you couldn't be. So, we've walked through 6 powerful areas where decluttering can profoundly transform your life as you approach and move beyond 70. We've talked about shedding the weight of physical clutter, creating clear and open spaces that invite peace and ease. Then we looked at untangling our digital lives, freeing ourselves from the invisible burden of overflowing inboxes and disorganized files, making our technology work for us, not against us. We explored the mental liberation that comes from letting go of unfinished projects and hobbies that no longer serve us, making space for present joys and passions. We also discussed the practical yet empowering act of streamlining our financial paperwork, bringing clarity and security to an often daunting area of our lives. Moving even deeper, we touched on the courageous work of decluttering toxic relationships and releasing old emotional baggage, which allows our hearts to be lighter and more open to genuine, uplifting connections. And finally, we delved into the profound freedom that comes from challenging and releasing limiting beliefs and self-doubt, opening ourselves up to new possibilities and continued growth at any age. Remember, this isn't about perfection or achieving some pristine, empty state. It's about intention, about creating space, physical, mental, and emotional, for what truly matters to you now and in the years to come. Each small step you take in any of these areas creates a ripple effect, building momentum and making the next step feel a little easier. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Pick one drawer, one email folder, one old belief, and just start there. The feeling of lightness, of freedom, that comes from letting go is incredibly powerful and addictive in the best possible way. It allows you to focus on living your life to the fullest, embracing new experiences, deepening your relationships, and simply enjoying the journey ahead with less baggage. This is your time to live lighter, to feel more free, and to step into this vibrant chapter of your life with open arms and a clear heart. It truly is about making space for more joy. I would love to hear which of these areas resonates most with you. Or what's one thing you're feeling ready to let go of to live a lighter life? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights might inspire someone else on their own decluttering journey. If you found value in this video and feel it could help others, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with friends or family. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for more helpful content designed to help you live your best life at every age. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Live your best life at every age.